Have you ever fallen into a pity party? Despite your best intentions, you find yourself binge watching Netflix, eating trash food, and reflecting on how terrible your life is. The more you reflect on the negative qualities of your life, the crappier your life seems to be. Before you know it, you're stuck in a slump, and the whole world seems to be against you. I used to live that reality on a loop. Every day after work, I would come home and just comfort myself with whatever I wanted, because no one had it as bad as me. It is incredibly easy to fall victim to your own life and to not be able to see a way out. And sometimes, even after making changes and learning better, you can still wind up in that dark place. This past weekend, a break in routine coupled with a feeling of being overwhelmed resulted in a wave of self-doubt, which led straight to a pity party. Fortunately, I was able to shake my head and get back to reality relatively quickly. With a clear mind, I'm able to see that these events, these pity parties, always follow an extended period of putting myself on the back burner. Taking on too many commitments, doing too many things, and forgetting to make time for myself inevitably causes me to crash. I'm fascinated by how often I use the excuse of, I don't have time for that, or I cannot afford that. And yet when these feelings of self-pity consume me, I have no problem throwing everything else out the window to make time for my binging, my Netflix, and I certainly have no concern for my bank account. What that tells me is that self-care is not an option. It is a necessity. Skipping things that make me feel good, that show me self-love, refusing to invest in myself, are all ways of telling my subconscious that I'm not worth it. I would never let my daughter go without regular baths, or cutting her nails, without putting cream on her skin. I love her so much that I couldn't imagine not taking care of her in a way that reflects my feelings. So then, if I love me, how can I ever avoid taking the time or spending the money to prove that I am loved? We use excuses, but the reality is that there's always the time and the money if we want it to be, if we want it to be there. If I had a doctor's appointment, I would schedule it in and I wouldn't miss it. And if I had a cavity, I would find the money to go and get it filled. We have to be unafraid to take time for ourselves. The saying that you cannot pour from an empty cup is not just something to say. It's the truest statement out there. If you avoid making yourself a priority, you're only prolonging the inevitable. Eventually you will have to take the time and spend the money. So isn't it better to be proactive and do it all on your own terms? Tonight, I'm taking a break from it all to treat myself the way I want the love of my life to be treated. I hope you all take some time to do the same. I hope to see you on Monday, and remember, it is never too late to start making yourself a priority.